Hi, I'm Connor with Dielectric, and today I'm going to be going over the OptiLoad. I'm going to be going over, once you get it out of the box, how to use it, how to set it up. I'm going to be going over all the items that come with it and how to use them. And I'll also be going over the program that comes with it to view all the data and adjust things on the OptiLoad. So now let's look at all the items that are going to come with your OptiLoad. Looking at the cables first, you're going to get a power cable. It just has cut off ends that you can splice into whatever you want. In my case, I spliced it into a 240 volt male head. And you're also going to get interlock cables that come with it. These are just also cut ends to splice into what you want. You're going to get 3 kits for grounding. These just attach to the bottom of the frame that we'll look into in a second. And you're also going to get 4 anchor angle brackets. If you want to anchor it to your floor, you can just put these on the frame and bolt it to the floor. And now we'll go look into how to put these on your frame. With your OptiLoad, you're also going to get 3 grounding kits. So to put those in, we have a portion of the frame that's visible at the bottom. It goes all the way around, so you can put the grounding strap wherever you want. So first, I took my T-nut and I already put it in the rail. And then you're going to take your threaded end, and that'll go in first. You're going to take the little plastic piece that comes with it, put that on. You're going to take the nut with the ridge on it. That goes on next. And for this case, I'm just using this wire to show it. Whatever your grounding strap is, you can put that on next. And then you'll put your washer on, your lock nut. And the last nut that goes on is a 10mm nut. And you're going to want to tighten that down to make sure it doesn't slide around. So with that on, we can move over to the anchor points. You're going to have 4 of these if you want to anchor it to your floor. This is a 6mm Allen head, and I already went ahead and took one apart and put my T-nuts into the rail. So once your T-nuts are in, you're going to have a plate that comes with it, and then the anchor itself. The plate goes up to it first, and then the anchor. And then with that there, you just put your threads through. And then do your other side. And if you leave everything loose, you can slide it around where you want, wherever your anchor point is on the floor. And then you just tighten it down with your 6mm Allen. So now we're going to go over the side panel. Everything's labeled here, but the top right button is the self-test button. This is used to cycle the fan and the pump to make sure everything's working properly. The button to the left of that is the pump. This turns on just the pump, and is primarily used for filling the unit. And the port under that is for your Ethernet cable. Plug in your laptop or get it on your network to view data of the unit and make sure it's working. The 2 ports under that are your interlock ports. And these are used to tell if there's a fault in the system. You can tie that into your transmitter however you want to use it. And the port under that is for your power. And this is a C19 plug. And it needs to be on 240 volt power. So looking at the front panel, we have our on-off switch, our fault lights, maintenance light, and normal operation light. These will just tell you at a glance if something's wrong or if something needs to be fixed, and then you can use the user program to see what's actually wrong with it. You shouldn't ever have to go into the electrical box unless the maintenance is being made on it. But if you do, make sure it's powered down. You don't want the power cable plugged into the side; it's an electrical hazard. And just take a flathead to open up the lock here. And just a quick overview of everything in here. We have your PLC that controls everything, and next to it are breakers. The first breaker is tied to the PLC unit. The next 2 are to the pump, and the 2 next to that on the far right are for the fan. And everything else we shouldn't ever be touching anyways, but we have the relay for the fan, the relay for the interlocks, and your power supply for the whole unit. Serial number is found right here, and there's also one on the side panel on the bottom right. So that's basically the essence of everything in here.
Today I'm going to be going over how to download the OptiLoad viewer program and using it to view and change settings on your OptiLoad. So first we have to go to the Dielectric website, dielectric.com/software, and this is where we can download the OptiLoad viewer. If we click this, using Chrome, I have to click download unverified file. And once we have it, we can put it wherever we want. I have it on the desktop here, and we can just open it up. So on the Connect tab, the first tab, we can put in the IP of the OptiLoad. Straight out of the box, the default IP will be 192.168.1.1. You have to make sure your laptop is on this subnet or else the connection can't be made. So we can hit connect. We'll see everything goes green. We'll see the time in the bottom left here. Going to the first tab, we can see all the data of the OptiLoad. If it's in normal operation, it'll be green. Everything will be green. It'll be yellow if maintenance is required, and it'll be red if there's a fault, and then the interlock will be open. This page should tell you what issue there is. So for example, if the fan goes into a fault state, then maintenance mode will turn on and it'll be yellow. So we can see the pump status, the fan status, the pressure, the temperature in the load where the RF is coming in, and then the temperature after the heat exchanger. On the next tab, we can set the times. So if this time down here is not correct, make sure you click the Set OptiLoad Time button here. This will set the OptiLoad to whatever time your PC is. So if this button doesn't work for whatever reason, you can use the left side here to put in a custom time. If you just follow this format, you can put in a custom time and set it here. So double check that this time down here is correct so that all the logging that it does has the correct timestamps. In the bottom right, you can set the daily self-test time. So if we want it at 8 a.m., we could just do 8 and click the Set Self-Test Time button here. So in the control settings, we can adjust when the interlock's open if we want to. We can change when the pump or the fan turns on, or we can reset a fault state. So if we wanted pump fault to actually trigger the interlock, then we could just check that box. We could change the pump to turn on at a different temperature and the fan to turn on at a higher temp if we wanted to. Once you have the changes that you want, you just click Update Settings, and the change will go through. The Reset Fault button, if there ever is a fault, will reset it, and it'll run a self-test. If whatever the fault was is gone, then it'll go back to either maintenance or normal operation. If the fault's still there, it'll stay in a fault state. And in this tab, we can change the IP. The PLC IP by default is here. You need the gateway that it's routing through. And we can also change the last octet of the agent or the SNMP manager. So if I want to change the IP to 239 at the end, because this is if I have a dedicated static IP on this network, that's 239. I'd set it to that. I'll do change IP. It would ask you if all these are correct. Say yes. And then it says to hold the pump button for 3 seconds to apply the change. So I can hold the pump button now. And after a few seconds, we'll see that it loses connection. So there we go. And we can go back to the Connect tab, type in that new IP, and we're on. So this will be the same if you're putting it on a different network. You just have to change these first octets. If you want to use the SNMP agent and you have a transmitter that is the SNMP manager, you'd put this data in here. You have to have a dedicated IP for the SNMP agent. So make sure you set that up at your router first, and then you can put that in here, and then you type in your transmitter's IP. And these all have to be on the same subnet, so these automatically grab the gateway from over here. That's why they're grayed out. And the last tab just shows the version of the PLC code and the OptiLoad viewer version that you're using. This data might be valuable for us at Dielectric to help you if we ever ask about it. So that's everything about the OptiLoad Viewer program. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just contact our customer support and we can help you out with this. Thanks.